Foundation Samir Saran, distinguished think tanks from the Global South, distinguished ambassadors and diplomats, and friends. As an ambassador from the diverse and dynamic Global South, I'm deeply privileged for this opportunity to address this wonderful audience on a matter of some urgency and significance. I'm sure you'll agree with me, the reform of the United Nations Security Council. I wish to express my sincere gratitude to my distinguished peers from the L.69 group, whose significant role and steadfast dedication have been essential in bringing our shared objectives to fruition. Now, colleagues, you might agree with me. In our rapidly evolving world, characterized by multifaceted transnational security challenges, technological advancements, and the complexities of a globalized economy, the architecture of international politics is at a decisive turning point. The fabric of multilateralism, once the robust framework underpinning global cooperation, now reveals its vulnerabilities and inadequacies. The United Nations, an institution founded on the principles of collective action and mutual respect, faces a crisis of credibility, challenged by the realities of polarization, protectionism, and pressing exigencies of the climate crisis. And central to this discourse is the role and structure of the United Nations Security Council. Established in 1945, as we all know, the Council was envisioned as a fortress, a bastion, a symbol of international collaboration, upholding peace and security across nations. Yet, as we stand in the third decade of the 21st century, it is evident that the Council's current form is no longer reflecting the global landscape it aims to serve. The predominance of global North countries in its permanent membership overlooks the rich and varied tapestry of our world today, especially the voices and perspectives of regions such as Latin America, Africa, the small island states, and large parts of Asia. And colleagues, I would say that the time for superficial change has long been past. The symbolic representation of the UN Security Council, a vestige of a colonial past, must evolve. It must evolve to resonate with the current geopolitical dynamics. The incremental expansion of non-permanent members in 1965, though a step forward, falls significantly short of the comprehensive reform that is now requisite. And through dialogues such as the Shifting the Balance Roundtables and our gratitude to the Observer Research Foundation and President Samir Saran, it has become increasingly clear that the existing structure of the UN Security Council is an anachronism. An anachronism failing to adapt to the seismic shifts in international relations over the past decades. And as we represent the Global South, our demand is not merely for representation, but for equitable participation in decisions that directly impact our regions. The L.69 group of developing countries has been at the forefront advocating for an expansion in both the permanent and non-permanent categories of the United Nations Security Council. Our stance is clear. The Council must not only expand, but also democratize, ensuring that non-permanent members have a substantive role in decision-making processes. India's recent G20 presidency has been instrumental in bringing these issues to the fore. The inclusion of the African Union as a G20 member is a testament to the strides being made towards inclusive global governance. This progress at the G20 level must be mirrored in the United Nations Security Council, where broader representation is essential for the body's effectiveness and credibility. And as we approach the Summit of the Future of the United Nations, it is a momentous opportunity to undertake a holistic review of the UN Charter with a particular focus on the United Nations Security Council. The stark choice laid out by the UN Secretary General, many of you would recall, reform or rupture. During high-level week in September 23, encapsulates the criticality of this situation. So in conclusion, colleagues, the mandate for the UN Security Council to ensure global peace and security remains as vital as ever. However, to fulfill this mission in our rapidly changing world, the Council must undergo transformative changes. It is time to move beyond the status quo and embrace a reformed UN Security Council that truly reflects the diversity and dynamism of the world it represents. After all, as Foreign Minister Jaishankar has said, the need for reform cannot be denied forever. Thank you. And it is now my greatest pleasure to hand the podium back to Samir.
Thank you, Ambassador, and thank you for that wonderful address that lays out the challenges as well as opportunities to use this moment to create an institution for the future.